When you're rich enough, you can have a glass house so nice that it's the reason you shouldn't be throwing rocks. Check out some fancy glass digs. For $17 million, this Los Angeles mansion will give you the best of both worlds. The primary purpose of glass is to keep the outside out and the inside in, but still be able to look through at least one side of it. It can provide the illusion of openness without all that pesky outdoors getting in, like wind, or leaves, or deer depending on where you live. This home's glass walls retract to let the inside out, opening the great room, which presumably gets its name from the people standing in it and going, "This is a great room," to the pool and spa area in the backyard. And there are views of the ocean if all that opulence isn't doing it for you. If splashing around isn't your vibe and you want to take a contemplative moment, there's also a yoga deck. The inside features 5 bedrooms and a main bathroom complete with a steam shower. For mealtime, there's a chef's kitchen, designed by the German company Bolthop. To make it feel even more like a high-end hotel, with only 5 rooms, there is a reception area and an office at the entrance. For your chariot, there's a gated motor court with 2 separate 2-car garages, just in case you and your partner can't decide who's the worst parker. The house was sold new in 2018 for $15 million and was listed last year for $17 million. When you build your $80 million mansion for hosting clients of the gas company Empire Gas, you're going to want to use as much glass as possible to take in the 350 acres of lake frontage. Wait, let's go back over that. It's not feet or even yards, but 350 acres of lake frontage on Table Rock Lake just outside Branson, Missouri. Yep, from that Simpsons episode. Urban explorer Big Banks gives a possible origin for the massive glass and stone creation. Founder of Empire Gas Corporation and Evergreen Investments Robert Plaster hosted an investor at the future location of the Crystal Palace and was a bit dismissive, and Plaster set about making sure no one else had that reaction. The result is a 14-bedroom house and hosting facility, complete with a 20-car garage and helipad. Several kitchens serve the large estate, with recreational facilities including a gun range that can double as a panic room with a bulletproof door. That is, if anyone can get past the ample security, including several surveillance cameras. The massive atrium has not one, but 2 capsules in the stone and glass stairwells, one to be opened in 2042 and the other to be opened in 2092, 50 and 100 years after the place was built. After Big Banks' video tour of the place went viral, there was a lot of interest in the place as a rental for movies and similar uses. The palace is being sold by the Robert W. Plaster Foundation, with the proceeds going to local schools. If $80 million is too spicy, you don't have to slum it, as long as you have $41 million for this Bel Air glass mansion, designed by the notorious Los Angeles architect Paul McLean. Glass stretches from the ground to the 3rd story, with a limestone facade to break it up a little. A cobblestone driveway leads to a carport made by a passageway on the 2nd floor that connects the 2 sides of the 16,500 square foot house. On the bottom floor, limestone covers much of the floor space, including a massive open common area with linear fireplace and large glass views of the backyard infinity pool and spa, as well as some of the several olive trees. The entryway has access to a powder room right off the doorway for any guest who needs to freshen up for your fancy Bel Air party. The entryway is dominated by one of the several art pieces that are part of the home itself. It features a library and office with lighting in the built-in bookshelves. The room off the library has its own bathroom with a rainhead shower and little section that juts out with floor-to-ceiling glass and provides a view of the backyard olive tree orchard. It has its own bar space for entertaining as well that features a wine cellar facing the full wet bar. The home theater actually remained undone so that the new owner can design it however they want. If you want to be closer to the action, the Hollywood Hills hosts this $35 million glass-on-glass mansion. There's massive stone stairs that lead to the main entryway, with one of the many massive water features that asks, "What drought?" Formal dining and living rooms are divided by a gas fireplace and stretching all the way to the office space. Floor-to-ceiling glass reveals the spa and infinity pool, as well as a view of the Los Angeles skyline. The property features not one, but 2 pools, one placed above the other, with the top pool also employing glass for its bottom, so you can swim down and give a wave to the people swimming below you. Or whatever it is you want to do with the pool you can look up into. Naturally, the kitchen is of the chef's variety, but it also includes its own indoor hydroponic herb garden to absolutely ensure freshness. It was photosynthesizing when you hung up your coat, and now it's on your plate. The kitchen also features a $15,000 built-in device called the Top Brewer that you load in with coffee beans and then push a button to have it deliver 16 different kinds of coffee. You can probably add a feature that will call out your name wrong when it's done. You know, just for the full experience. A lot closer to the ocean is this $20 million glass and steel mansion that the realtor calls a cross between an airport terminal and a supervillain's lair. I wish I could take credit for that because it's pretty accurate. From the air, it looks a bit like a camshaft connected to a generator from a hydroelectric plant. So if you're looking for a combination of a place for awkward goodbyes and welcomes, with a touch of plotting to destroy Iron Man once and for all, or just beat Tony Stark, this 2-acre estate with distinct glass and steel structures is for you. The main structure is a series of pods linked together 35 feet above the ground and another steel and glass circular area. The two structures connect via a glass sky bridge that suspends over the driveway. 4,400 feet of indoor living space with enough natural light to feel like you're outside all the time. Includes 4 bedrooms and 4 baths, with the main bedroom of course featuring its own lengthy balcony with a covered space, and then further out, its own spa at the end. The spa looks out over the treetops all the way to the Pacific Ocean, the perfect place to plot your revenge against Superman. A 2-hour drive down I-5 in La Jolla, an estimated $30 million, will buy you this hilltop Razor house. It's not a sharp house. The name comes from its location on Razor Point. White concrete, steel, and glass make up this 11,545 square foot house, with views of the cliffs and ocean below from just about anywhere in this glass palace, with all the rooms in the house featuring a glass wall facing the water. If you and your partner are on the outs, there's no need to leave. The house features not 1, but 2 primary suites and 2 different kitchens. If more distance is required, there's also a 1,300 square foot guest house with its own 2-car garage and separate entrances. Entertaining takes place up top, with a rooftop entertaining area complete with its own kitchen as well as a pool and spa. Even the elevator is glass. Oh yeah, it has a glass elevator, but it's still unknown if it can shoot out the top and fly once you've been given the chocolate factory. It also features a subterranean garage to complete the maximization of vertical space. The property has been used for commercials, but the listing doesn't specify which ones. Not strictly a mansion, but strictly an amazing glass structure, the Tower House tucked away in the Hudson Valley turns out to not be the headquarters of the Teen Titans, but rather the vacation home of architect Paul Gluck. Gluck wanted to create a space that disrupted the beauty of the surroundings as little as possible, so the 2,500 square feet of living space sits on a 540 square foot footprint. Each of the 3 bedrooms are stacked on top of each other, with a shared living space with living room and dining room built out from the top of the bedrooms. Glass covers the entire structure, noting that glass's ability to reflect as well as see-through is often overlooked. The glass outside is covered in green fritted glass, the kind used in skyscrapers. This reflective glass allows the house to blend in with and reflect its surroundings. To hold all of this structure up from a small footprint and to keep it from knocking over in a robust wind, the steel structure had to be carefully designed, with the full load requiring steel rods to insert into the bedrock below. The entire place is able to be shut down, with the wet spots isolated to preserve the house and energy. The place is cooled in the summer through the magic of thermodynamics and a solar chimney. Air is blown in from the north-facing side, while the south-facing side is warmed by the sun, drawing the warm air up and out, continuously cooling the inside. Since it was built by and for the architect, we'll have to wait for him to bore with it to find out its value, as the cost to build wasn't revealed. Another design study house with an unknown value adorns the cliffs of the Puerta de la Selva in Girona, Spain, dubbed the Sunflower House. It has all of the luxury features you'd expect for a mansion carved into a cliffside. There are elaborate yet minimalistic common areas, including a kitchen with a dining area and a separate nook and a living room, which spans 2 stories. The rooftop infinity pool is oriented, so at the right angle, it looks like it extends right into the Mediterranean Sea. But this is no ordinary take a wall and make it out of glass affair. Each room juts out from the main structure to feature its own glass wall, each facing in a separate direction so that no 2 places in the house experience the same view. That's not the only reason for the strange cube shapes. Winds in the area can be up to 110 miles per hour. The shape of the building serves to protect the outdoor spaces from the strong winds. Finally, the home is oriented to collect as much light and heat from the sun as part of its passive environmental controls, which is where it gets the sunflower moniker. Another architecturally special home in the lofty price upon inquiry range of, if the price is a concern, it's not for you, type, is the V4 house in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The V4 house, designed by Studio MK27, sticks out from its lavish neighbors by keeping things grounded, in that it only has the 1 ground floor, with the living space spread out. The open space living room that comes standard with these glass affairs connects to an equally open kitchen, with the glass walls getting in on the open action themselves, opening to the rear patio with the rooftop deck extending above it, making the deck into a veranda and connecting the entire space to make it feel like it's all garden. The bedroom and study also have their own glass views to the garden. When the sun goes down, you can still enjoy the garden that surrounds the house via a series of lights throughout. If all this fanciness has made you think that these places can only be enjoyed in designer casual, with flutes of champagne in your hand and 5 interesting observations about the market, and you're looking to cut loose a little, this $34 million Miami home on Miami's Indian Creek Canal is for you. 100 feet of creek frontage gives way to the yard with requisite swimming pool and basketball court, as well as 2 levels of entertaining space. Indoors living space can become an indoors-outdoors entertaining space by having the glass walls on both levels retract. If you're sleeping in the main suite, there's no need to make the arduous journey down the stairs and hallway out the massive opening to the backyard though. Simply walk out onto the deck and slide into the pool on the $250,000 custom-built 2-story water slide. The house features 13,500 square feet of living space on a 1-acre lot and was built spec for designs by the SOATA design firm and listed new in 2016. Another entry in the specially built vacation homes, the Shell House, built in the forest Karuizawa in the Nagano Prefecture of Japan for an undisclosed cost. But we're gonna go with a lot. That takes its own approach to living in its natural surroundings. The shell-shaped design isn't so much meant to look like it's part of the surrounding nature, but rather coexisting with it. The area is known for cold winters and high humidity that has been doing a number on wooden structures in the area. To combat that, it's built raised above the ground of concrete, with massive glass walls at the end of each structure that provide the interior with a beautiful view of the surrounding garden and forest. The center of the house wraps around a full-grown tree with the corner crafted into an amphitheater. The curves continue from inside out, with the walls themselves curving, creating the need for specifically designed interior pieces. It's the kind of vacation home that was planned for frequent use. Across the Pacific in Seattle is this relatively modest $3.5 million 3-story glass mansion. In a crowded neighborhood of fancy but traditional houses, this one is definitely doing its own thing. Facing the street is a regular old very large window with a driveway to the ground level garage. The ocean-facing side, however, is glass from the ground to the top of the 3-story structure, so that no matter where you are in the house, you don't lose track of the ocean. The house features 3 bedrooms and a recreational room. If the Seattle sky takes a break from dumping rain on its residents, there's a rooftop deck where you can watch the sun seep into the sea, or catch a whale or 2 putting on a show. There's a second deck for party overflow, and designer kitchen, because what's the point of building a fancy place without a fancy kitchen? Like every other room, you can look up from your food preparation and take in the ocean view. If you're looking for your glass-walled house with a touch of 80s evil mastermind, Villa Kogelhof in the Netherlands is for you, though its construction is decidedly less evil in its origin. Bought as farmland in 2006 for an undisclosed amount, the long rectangular raised estate wrapped entirely in glass was built under strict conditions. The 25 hectares are part of an environmental program looking to connect ecological zones throughout the country. So permission to build the house on an area that is home to many species of animals and is an attraction open to the public was that the surrounding land be returned to its pre-farm state. To accomplish that, 71,000 6-year-old trees were planted throughout so that the estate eventually will live among the trees. Keeping the numbers together, 70,000 cubic meters of soil were removed to create the pond which the office on the lower section overlooks. Parking is an underground affair, with room for 6 cars and a tractor because it used to be a farm. For anywhere between $3 to $6.5 million, you can not only have a designer home wrapped in glass, but you can have a designer home wrapped in glass that is also an international design and architecture award-winning house. Located in Dorset, this 3-story structure combines a curved pilot house style section and a more conventional square structure working in unison. The walls are all glass and look out onto the balcony or deck that each level features, including the primary suite on the top level. While the entire place gets uninterrupted access to the sun, there's still a dedicated sunroom for relaxing located on the roof. There's a brick driveway leading to a humble 2-car garage. Privacy is handled carefully by manicured surrounding bushes. If you're looking to spend your $3 to $6 million stateside and you like a little mid-century mixed in with your modern, this redwood and glass house of La Canada FLINTRIDGE was built over the foundation of a mid-century house that had fallen to time in its place. The house uses materials like wood, steel, and stone to mix modern touches, while still evoking the mid-century design of the original, with all the back-facing walls covered in floor-to-ceiling glass, with a covered porch and an immaculate lawn. None of these glass palaces are built for anyone who's watched any horror movies. Horror movie fans will spend all their time wondering what monster is stalking them just out of view.